March 11th, 1944, 10:47 a.m., 90 miles west of Truk, Caroline Islands. Lieutenant Nathan Gordon breaks through the surface of the Pacific in his PBY Catalina, emerging into a nightmare of burning aviation fuel and circling death. Japanese Zero fighters wheel overhead at 4,000 feet, like carrion birds. Below, 6 B-25 Mitchell bombers have shattered across 3 miles of open ocean, their aluminum skeletons sinking toward 12,000 feet of abyss. 15 airmen struggle in the debris field. The water temperature hovers at 84 degrees. Hypothermia and sharks will finish what the Zero started within 2 hours. Gordon's Catalina can safely manage 8 passengers. 15 men, 8 seats, enemy fighters above, burning fuel spreading across the surface. He shoves the throttle forward and drives toward the flames. In March 1944, ditched bomber crews in the Pacific faced a 12% rescue probability. The average survival window before extraction, 47 minutes. After that, the ocean claims its own. Gordon's PBY Catalina, a slow, ungainly flying boat built for reconnaissance, carries a maximum rated takeoff weight of 35,000 pounds. Each rescued man adds roughly 180 pounds. The mathematics are unforgiving. 8 passengers maximum. Physics does not compromise. Gordon has no fighter cover, no surface vessels, no reinforcements. His radio operator confirms 6 Zeros still circling. His fuel gauge shows 90 minutes until bingo fuel. The burning fuel sends a smoke column 20 miles into the sky, advertising their position to every Japanese patrol for 100 miles. Yet Nathan Gordon is about to disregard mathematics, physics, and military doctrine entirely. Over the next 41 minutes, he will land 6 separate times under active enemy fire. He will extract 15 men from an active combat zone, while Zeros strafe his aircraft, overload his flying boat to 172% of rated capacity, and somehow coax it airborne. He will accomplish this because he possesses one advantage no strategist calculated. When men are drowning, he does not consult the rule book. Nathan Green Gordon entered the world on September 4th, 1916, in Morrilton, Arkansas. Population 20,800. His father operated the town's general store. At age 7, Nathan plunged into the Arkansas River to pull his younger brother from winter ice. When his mother asked how he remained so composed, he replied that panicking appeared inefficient. 27 years later, that same composure would preserve 15 lives. To comprehend how, one must understand what distinguished him from the outset. May 1938, Fayetteville, Arkansas, graduation day at the University of Arkansas. Nathan Gordon receives his engineering degree with a 3.7 GPA and no employment prospects. The Depression maintains its grip on Arkansas. His father's store barely survives. Nathan submits 43 applications. 43 rejections follow. Then he notices a Navy recruiting poster. Learn to fly. The Navy needs pilots. The Navy offers $245 monthly, a king's ransom. One complication, Nathan has never laid eyes on the ocean. At Pensacola Flight School, instructors mark his evaluations with consistent observations, adequate reflexes, exceptional composure under stress, does not rattle. During his check ride, the engine falters at 400 feet. Where most cadets panic, Nathan executes a textbook dead stick landing in a cow pasture. He climbs out, traces the fuel line, identifies a blocked filter, clears the obstruction, and returns to base. His instructor demands why he never radioed distress. Nathan responds, the problem appeared solvable. He earns his wings in December 1939. Ensign Nathan Gordon, Naval Aviator number 8470, receives assignment to PBY Catalina Patrol Squadrons in March 1941 at Naval Air Station, Jacksonville, Florida. Other pilots groan. The PBY, nicknamed Catalina or Dumbo, represents the antithesis of glamour. Maximum speed, 196 miles per hour. Cruising speed, 125 miles per hour. Fighter pilots dismiss it as the bus. Slow, vulnerable, armed only with machine guns, designed for search and rescue rather than combat. Gordon studies the aircraft with obsessive precision. He learns every structural limit, every performance envelope, every emergency protocol. He discovers the PBY can land in 12-foot swells if one knows the exact angle, can take off over weight if one exploits wave action correctly, can absorb extraordinary punishment due to its hull construction. During a Key West training exercise, another pilot's Catalina loses an engine. During takeoff, the aircraft settles back onto the water, damaged. Rescue boats stand 30 minutes away. The aircraft sinks. Gordon lands beside it. Open ocean, 8-foot swells, taxis alongside, and rigs tow lines. He tows the crippled flying boat 3 miles to shallow water, where it can be beached. His commanding officer notes the violation of protocol. One does not risk 2 aircraft to save 1. Gordon's reply, "The aircraft carried 6 men, sir." No reprimand follows. The file receives a single notation: initiative under pressure. December 8th, 1941, the day following Pearl Harbor. Gordon's Squadron VP 22 receives emergency deployment orders to the Pacific. They assume search and rescue duties across the Central Pacific Theater. The assignment carries no prestige. Glory belongs to fighter pilots and carrier aviators. Search and rescue receives the leavings. For Gordon, it suits perfectly. January 1942, northeast of Midway Island. Gordon spots a raft bearing 3 B-17 crew members, 6 days adrift. He lands in 14-foot swells, officially beyond safe parameters. His co-pilot objects. Gordon responds, "I can see them waving." He extracts all 3. One succumbs to exposure 2 hours later. 2 survive. March 1942, south of Guadalcanal, Gordon's Catalina absorbs anti-aircraft fire while retrieving a downed fighter pilot. Shrapnel perforates the hull in 4 locations. He completes the rescue, then nurses the leaking aircraft 140 miles to base, water sloshing in the bilge throughout. October 1942, near Rabaul. Gordon lands under Japanese coastal artillery fire to extract a bomber crew. His waist gunner takes a bullet through the shoulder. Gordon gets airborne with the bomber crew, plus his wounded gunner, flying 200 miles to the nearest field hospital. By late 1943, Lieutenant Nathan Gordon has logged 47 successful rescues. He has acquired the nickname Nate the Lifeguard. His crew trusts him, absolutely. His superiors note, unflappable, will attempt rescues other pilots decline. February 1944. Truck Atoll region, Caroline Islands. The Navy launches Operation Hailstone, a massive carrier strike against Truk, Japan's Gibraltar of the Pacific. Hundreds of aircraft participate. Casualties prove inevitable. Search and rescue Catalinas, including Gordon's, orbit outside the combat zone, prepared to extract downed crews. On February 17th, at the raid's height, 3 separate bomber crews ditch within 1 hour. Gordon lands 3 times that same morning. Each time, Japanese fighters locate him. Each time, covering F-6F Hellcats drive them off, while Gordon completes extraction. He retrieves 11 men total. After the 3rd landing, his co-pilot, Ensign John McTagg, asks, Skipper, how many times will you land in one mission? Gordon replies, as many as it takes. The operations officer reviews Gordon's fuel consumption and observes that he pushed within 15 minutes of reserves, dangerously close to ditching himself. Gordon receives a letter of commendation. He files it, unread. His only comment, "We got everybody." By March 1944, Nathan Gordon has flown 112 combat missions, completed 47 rescues, and saved 73 lives. His crew considers him the finest seaplane pilot in the Pacific. Nothing, however, prepares them for what follows. March 11th, 1944, 10:47 a.m., 90 miles west of Truk. 15 men drowning. 6 Zeros circling. 1 overloaded flying boat. This is how he executed it. Gordon's PBY orbits at 200 feet, 20 miles west of the strike zone. His mission, standby rescue. The radio erupts with chaos. Multiple bombers hit, crews bailing out, coordinates fragmentary. Then his radioman, RM2C, Robert Stansbury, intercepts a clear distress call. 6 B-25s down. Repeat, 6 down. Position 7 degrees 14. North, 151 degrees 52. East. Crews in the water. Zeros still in area. Gordon plots the position, 90 miles west-southwest. He banks toward it. His co-pilot, Ensign John McTagg, checks the chart. "Skipper, that's open ocean. No cover. If Zeros jump us during landing, we're sitting ducks." Gordon nods. "Request fighter escort." Stansbury tries. The fighter director responds, "Negative. All escorts committed. You're on your own." Gordon does not hesitate. "We're going in." The crew does not question. They have performed this before. But as they approach the coordinates, they witness something unprecedented. Wreckage spread across 3 miles, burning fuel slicks, life rafts, men in the water, and circling above, 6 Zeros gleaming silver against blue sky. The waist gunner, AMM-1C Paul Barnett, counts 15 men scattered across 6 separate groups. 15 men, 8 seats, 6 Zeros. Gordon circles once, low at 400 feet. The Zeros spot him, but do not immediately attack. They conserve ammunition after strafing the bombers. Gordon uses those 30 seconds to memorize every position. 3 groups of 3, 2 groups of 2, 1 group of 4. He decides, "We're landing for all of them." "Skipper, we can't carry 15. Then we'll make 2 trips. There's not enough fuel for 2 trips back here." Gordon levels the aircraft toward the first group. "Then we'll figure it out." He lines up for landing. The Zeros begin their descent. Landing 1, 10:52 a.m. Gordon touches down in 6-foot swells, 200 yards from the first group. 3 men clinging to a shattered B-25 wing. The PBY bounces, skips, settles. Salt spray hammers the windscreen. He throttles forward, taxiing toward them. Above, 2 Zeros peel off into attack dives. Barnett opens fire with the waist .50 caliber. Tracers arc upward. The Zeros break off, not hit, but unwilling to press through defensive fire. They climb, circle, wait. The crew drags 3 airmen aboard, all hypothermic, 1 with a shattered arm. 2 minutes elapsed. Gordon does not take off. He throttles forward toward the second group, half a mile east. McTagg grips the co-pilot yoke. "Skipper, we should get airborne. Make a run for it. If we take off now, we leave 12 behind. The Zeros will strafe them." Gordon keeps taxiing. The aircraft wallows through swells. A Catalina taxiing on water moves at 8 knots, agonizingly slow. But takeoff and landing consume fuel and time. Gordon gambles. Remain on the water, move between groups, collect everyone. The zero circle, watching, waiting for the perfect moment. Landing 2, 10:58 a.m. Actually, not a landing, a water taxi. Gordon reaches the second group, 2 men on a raft, both burned from fuel fires. The crew hauls them aboard. 5 rescued, 10 remain. The fuel slick spreads, making clear water for maneuvering increasingly scarce. Gordon spots the third group, 4 men, 600 yards north, clinging to debris. He turns toward them. 1-0 dives. Barnett fires. The Zero's 20 cannon stitches the water 50 feet starboard. A warning shot. The Zero climbs away. Stansbury reports fuel, 70 minutes remaining. Skipper, 70 minutes to get everyone aboard, get airborne, and fly 90 miles home. He calculates mentally. 4 men ahead, then 3 northeast, then 2 southeast, then the final group of 4 southwest. If he can water taxi between them without taking off, he preserves fuel and time. Complication 1. The burning slick. Gordon approaches the third group. 4 men, all injured, 1 unconscious. The crew drags them aboard while the aircraft rocks and swells. 9 rescued, 6 remain. Then, Gordon smells it. Aviation fuel. A slick surrounds them. The surface shimmers with gasoline. 1 spark, 1 gunshot, 1 hot engine, and they ignite. He faces 2 choices: back out slowly or punch through quickly toward clear water. Slowly means more exposure time. Quickly means greater ignition risk. Gordon throttles up. The engines roar. Propellers kick up spray. The PBY surges through the fuel slick. 20 seconds of terror. The crew holds its breath. They clear it. No ignition. But the noise attracts the Zeros. All 6 begin their descent. Landing 3, 11:07 a.m. Gordon spots the 4th group, 3 men, 400 yards east. He turns toward them. The Zeros commit. All 6 dive in coordinated attack. 2 from north, 2 from south, 2 from east. They box Gordon in, eliminating escape routes. Barnett fires north. Port Waist Gunner, AMM-2. C. Richard Wright fires south. Tracers fill the sky. The Zeros split. 4 break off. 2 press the attack. Bullets punch through the Catalina's hull. A row of holes stitches across the starboard wing. 1 round hits the cockpit plexiglass, spider webbing the glass inches from McTagg's head. Gordon holds course, reaches the 3 men. The crew drags them aboard. 1 dead, 2 alive, 12 rescued, 3 remain. The Zeros climb, regroup. They run low on ammunition, but not determination. Stansbury reports, 50 minutes fuel, Skipper, and we're taking water through the bullet holes. Complication 2. The sinking aircraft, the Catalina's hull, punctured multiple times, takes water steadily. The bilge pump runs continuously. Insufficient. Water sloshes in the keel. The aircraft sits lower, grows sluggish, harder to maneuver. Gordon still has 3 men to rescue. McTagg pleads, "Skipper, we've got 12. That's incredible. But if we don't leave now, we'll sink before we get airborne." Gordon checks the bilge indicator. 6 inches of water, rising. He looks through the windscreen. The 5th group, 2 men on a raft, 500 yards southwest. The 6th group, 1 man alone, clinging to debris, 700 yards south. 15 men entered the water. 12 are aboard. 3 remain. Gordon throttles forward. We're getting everybody. Landing 4, 11:14 a.m. Gordon reaches the 5th group. 2 men, both burned, barely conscious. The crew pulls them aboard. 14 rescued. 1 remains. The aircraft now carries 14 rescued airmen, plus Gordon's 8-man crew. 22 men total, approximately 3,960 pounds, over maximum rated takeoff weight. The lone airman, 700 yards south, waves frantically. Gordon turns toward him. The engines strain. The overloaded aircraft barely responds. Water in the bilge shifts, throwing off balance. Gordon compensates, taxiing in a slow curve. The Zeros circle lower. They have deduced Gordon's plan. He will not leave. They can take their time, line up one final, perfect attack. Complication 3. The lone survivor, the lone airman, is Staff Sergeant James Nolan, waist gunner from the lead B-25. He has been in the water 37 minutes, hypothermic, swallowing water with every swell, bleeding from shrapnel wounds in his left leg. Gordon maneuvers alongside. The crew extends hands. Nolan cannot reach, too weak. The swells lift him, drop him. He slips under, surfaces, gasps. AMM 1C Barnett strips off his life vest, ties a rope around his waist, and jumps into the Pacific. He swims 10 feet, grabs Nolan, holds his head above water. The crew hauls the rope, pulls both men to the hull, drags them aboard. 15 rescued. Stansbury reports 40 minutes fuel, 9 inches water in the bilge. Skipper, if we don't get airborne in the next 60 seconds, we won't get airborne at all. Gordon throttles up, turns into the wind, begins his takeoff run. The Zeros dive in unison, all 6, their last ammunition, their final opportunity. Gordon pushes throttles to maximum. The overloaded Catalina wallows forward. The hull pounds through swells. Each impact sprays water. The airspeed indicator climbs. 40 knots, 50 knots, 60 knots. The PBY requires 72 knots to get airborne at normal weight. Overloaded by 3,960 pounds, it needs closer to 85. The Zeros open fire. 20 cannon rounds hammer the water alongside. Tracers arc overhead. One round punches through the starboard engine nacelle. Oil sprays across the windscreen. The engine coughs, sputters, keeps running. 70 knots. The hull remains firmly on the water. Gordon exploits a swell, times it precisely. As the aircraft crests a wave, he pulls back on the yoke. The PBY lifts 6 inches, slams back down. 75 knots. McTagg shouts, "We're not going to make it." Gordon uses another swell, pulls again. The aircraft lifts a foot, stays up, mushes through the air, barely flying, more falling forward than climbing. 80 knots. The Zeros roar past, out of ammunition. They waggle wings, a salute, and break off, climbing back toward truck. Gordon holds the yoke with both hands. The aircraft shudders on the edge of stalling. He cannot climb, cannot turn, can barely maintain altitude. But he is airborne. The crew cheers. Gordon says, "Stansbury, give me a heading home." His voice remains utterly calm. Gordon nurses the damaged, overloaded Catalina 90 miles. Fuel runs to fumes. The punctured starboard engine loses oil pressure, but keeps running on mechanical stubbornness alone. The 15 rescued airmen, 12 injured, 3 critical, lie crammed in every available space. At 12:31 p.m., Gordon lands at the seaplane tender USS Ballard. As the Catalina settles into the water, it immediately lists starboard, the bullet holes finally winning. The crew evacuates everyone in 4 minutes. The Ballard's pumps keep the PBY afloat long enough to assess damage. 37 bullet holes, 1 engine nearly destroyed, hull compromised in 8 locations. Gordon shrugs. Needs some work. April 1st, 1944. 3 weeks later, 110 miles northwest of Truk, Gordon patrols again, his Catalina repaired and returned to service. Another B-25 strike. Another bomber down. This time, only 6 crew members in the water. A simple rescue, presumably. Incorrect. The B-25 crew ditched in a minefield, a Japanese defensive zone sown with floating mines. Any contact triggers detonation. The mines drift in current, forming a maze of death. Other rescue aircraft circle but refuse to land. Too dangerous. Protocol dictates abort, return to base, let submarines attempt extraction. Gordon listens to radio chatter, listens to the bomber crew's increasingly desperate calls. He lands in the minefield. For 8 minutes, his crew uses poles to push mines away from the aircraft. 8 minutes where any wave, any miscalculation, means instant annihilation. They extract all 6 crew members. Gordon takes off, threading between 2 mines separated by 60 feet. His co-pilot vomits from stress immediately after takeoff. Gordon's comment in the mission report: acceptable risk. The pattern clarifies. The March 11th rescue was not luck, it was character. May 15th, 1944. The White House, Washington, D.C. The citation references his March 11th rescue and subsequent actions. Gordon stands among 15 other Medal of Honor recipients. Photographers capture the moment. Reporters request quotes. Gordon's response: I was doing my job. My crew did the hard work. After the war, Gordon returns to Arkansas, uses the GI Bill to earn a master's degree in education. He becomes a high school chemistry teacher in Pueblo, Colorado. He teaches for 31 years, never mentioning the Medal of Honor to students unless directly asked. His colleagues discover his background by accident in 1967 when a veterans group contacts the school. A former student recalls, Mr. Gordon taught us stoic geometry. He made us measure, calculate, prove everything. He'd say, assumptions kill, numbers save lives. I didn't understand. Until years later, in 1983, age 67, Gordon retires from teaching and resumes flying civilian small aircraft. His logbooks show 412 hours flown between 1983 and 1995. September 8th, 2008. Pueblo, Colorado. Nathan Green Gordon dies of congestive heart failure, age 90. 2. He rests at Imperial Memorial Gardens, Pueblo, Colorado. Section 5, Block B, Lot 184. The headstone is simple granite. Nathan G. Gordon, Lieutenant, U.S. Navy, Medal of Honor, September 4th, 1916 to September 8th, 2008. He saved lives. The Navy names a building after him, Gordon Hall, at Naval Air Station Pensacola, Florida. The structure houses search and rescue training operations. APBY Catalina replica at the National Naval Aviation Museum bears his name and carries the notation, 15 rescued, 6 landings, 1 mission. But most people do not know his story. The Medal of Honor database lists him. Aviation historians cite him. Search and rescue communities honor him. The 15 men he rescued and their children, grandchildren, they remember. Some stories do not fit on headstones. There exist 2 methods to relate this narrative. The first, Nathan Gordon defied orders, ignored physics, violated every safety protocol, and through sheer luck and adrenaline, accomplished an impossible rescue. A cowboy pilot who gambled with his crew's lives and happened to win. The second, Nathan Gordon calculated risks with engineering precision, understood his aircraft's capabilities beyond the manual, led a crew who trusted his judgment and executed a textbook demonstration of how composure under pressure preserves life. Both are true, both are remarkable. But here is what matters. Gordon faced a binary choice: follow protocol and save 8 men, or break every rule and attempt 15. Protocol was logical. Protocol was safe. Protocol would have resulted in 0 disciplinary action, but protocol meant abandoning 7 men to drown. In March 1944, the answer was 15. In April 1944, 6 more. Over 112 missions, 73 total. Gordon never called himself a hero. When pressed, he would repeat the same answer he gave that day off truck when his co-pilot asked how many times he would land: as many as it takes.